It is 4:30 and I would like to call the meeting of the District of Chetwynd Council to order. And I would like the opening statement read, please.
Okay. As we gather today on the traditional territory of the Treaty 8 First Nations to conduct the business of the District of Chetwynd, we do so knowing that we are privileged to serve the citizens of this community, and we shall endeavor to conduct our business in their best interests. Thank you.
Thank you. Prior to adoption of the agenda and that the council meeting be conducted electronically via Zoom due to the prevalence of COVID-19 and a provincial state of emergency.
Motion to adopt the agenda conducted electronically via Zoom.
Second.
Second. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, minutes. Minutes of the regular council meeting held April 19th, 2021.
Motion to receive.
Second by Councillor Deck. All those in favor? Carried. No delegations. Bylaw B1, District of Chetwynd Financial Plan 2021-2025. Bylaw number 11333/2021 requires first and second reading.
Motion to move first, second, and third reading.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, Laura, Councillor Weisgerber seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. B2, District of Chetwynd 2021 tax rate bylaw number 1134/2021 requires first, second, and third readings.
Motion to move first, second, and third readings.
Second.
Galbraith, Councillor Disher seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Those opposed? Carried. Okay. Right now, we've got an opportunity for the public's input. We've got B3, District of Chetwynd false alarm bylaw number 1135/2021 requires adoption. Prior to that, at this time, this portion of the regular meeting is set aside to allow for public comment on the proposed District of Chetwynd false alarm bylaw number 1135/2021. This is not a formal public hearing process, but rather an informal process. I will, however, ask each person who wishes to speak to state their name and residential or business address, and then provide council with their comments. I will now ask if there are any presentations either in favor of or opposed to the proposed bylaw. I will ask, are there any further comments? Hearing no comments, I declare this public proceedings concluded. Okay, B3, District of Chetwynd false alarm bylaw number 1135/2021 requires adoption.
Motion
So
to
moved.
adopt. Oh, sorry, Mel.
All right. So moved.
Second.
Okay, Counselor Dick, move. Counselor Galbraith, second. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. B4. District of Chetwynd Official Community Plan Amendment Bylaw Number 1136, 2021. Nicholson Road requires third reading and adoption.
I
Move.
will make third reading and adoption, please.
I'll second.
Counselor Warwick, seconds. Laura?
Question? I have a question. It says subject to it says subject to approval from the Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure. Do we know if we got that approval or if they got that approval?
Staff? Go
We
ahead,
have
Carol.
not yet, we have not yet received it, but we expect to any day. So we won't do anything with the bylaw until we get that approval.
So just subject to, correct?
So just to clarify, Carol, if they come back and they don't agree, then it's a non-issue. It doesn't, okay,
That's
thank you.
correct.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? All those, any opposed? Okay, carried. B5, District of Chetwynd Zoning Amendment Bylaw Number 1137, 2021, Nicholson Road requires third reading and adoption.
I'll
So
move
moved.
third. No, sorry. Second. I'll second.
Counselor Disher moves. Counselor Weisgerber seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. All right. Committee reports and liaison reports. Start with the mayor and from the PRD standpoint of we had a little issue with our recycle, and the recycle was brought up at the PRD board that some of the recycles in the Fort St. John district, they had mixed stuff in the recycles, needles and stuff that we couldn't get rid of. So they had to put it in regular garbage disposal. So that was an issue. So here in Chetwynd, we were doing a very good job. So as our recycling depot here is doing a great job at maintaining the recycle to go in the proper bins, and so are the residents. And the recycling here in town with the blue bag, it's working very well, and they're implementing that in other areas in our district. So just a shout out to Chetwynd and to our recycler. Thank you very much. And today, there was an announcement made from the government that there is going to be a connectivity between Highway 39 to Chetwynd. Rogers is going to spend, well, Rogers and the government, I guess, $5.7 million on connectivity in between that area. So the Pine Pass will have connectivity between here and there. So which is great for the transportation department, the safety factor, and everybody else in between. And I believe some of the residents along the side of the roads will be able to connect to that system. So it's a really good day today for connectivity in the Pine Pass and for the tourism that comes through there. So it's great for Chetwynd, it's great for Powder King, and anybody traveling in there knows that once you lose connectivity, you have to wait a little bit. But basically for a safety factor, and which is pretty awesome. And we did that today at 1 o'clock. So it's on You probably could pick it up on any broadcast at YouTube. And I might say, if Carol and powers may be, we will put it on our system, right, Carol? Or media? Okay, thank you. And that's it. Anybody else from the liaisons have a report? Go ahead, Councillor Galbraith.
Thank you. I just have a quick update on the GoFund 2020. And so I have passed this on to staff to post it on our Facebook page, because they're looking for our nonprofits to really apply for this money that's available. And as of December 1st, 2020, BC Hydro had distributed over $493,000 to 53 projects. And they have now released the recipients of our last go around. And it was the Northern Sun Helpers Society, the Whiskey Jack Nordic Ski Club, the Fort St. John and Area Seniors Care Foundation, Friends of the Hudson's Hope Society, Fort St. John and District Palliative Care, Peace Community Church Society, and the Chetwynd Planning Society. So they've all been successfully, they're all the successful recipients of this last fund.
Well, that's totally awesome.
Yeah, it is. It's a super opportunity. And if anybody wants more information, they can go to the sitecproject.com GoFund, or the northerndevelopment.bc.ca.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Galbraith. Any other liaison that might have a report for us? Okay, we will go to the administration report.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Go ahead, Councillor Weisgerber.
I just had a question on the administration report. I was
Yes,
just wondering how the kick it to the curb is going.
go ahead, staff.
So we have been doing some promotion. We're going to send out some radio ads this week. We have received some registrations to have heavy items removed from people's yards, and people seem quite excited about it. So the feedback has been very positive so far.
Nice. Is that it, Councillor Weisgerber?
Yes, it
Okay,
is.
Councillor Galbraith.
Sorry, I just had a quick question on that. So Carol, can you just explain, or maybe staff can explain, what is exactly the process a person has to go through to get the kick it to the curb sign or the free sign to put their stuff out on the edge of the curb?
Okay, so anybody can put items that they want to donate, for the free garage sale at their curbside, and then others can come along and choose. There are some out, you may have seen some community members have already put items at their curb, and others are picking them up and whatnot. So anybody can do that. However, if you have some kinds of things that you need hauled to the landfill and you can't do it, just register with the district. You can call the district, or you can come in, and we've got a form to fill out, and then our staff will go and assess the things that you need hauled away to the landfill and have that done for you. There might be some things that we can't, for instance, if it's toxic or whatnot, but we'll make a case-by-case determination.
Okay. Thank you. And I seen the Chamber of Commerce just had a
Yes.
question.
Yes.
Oh, good.
We will get the information to the chamber after our meeting. We will send them the link
Oh,
to
okay.
all how much money we're going to get. No, just
For
kidding.
some-
It's just for connectivity. Go ahead, Councillor Weisgerber.
I just had a follow-up question of Rochelle's question.
Okay.
Rochelle mentioned something about a sign. Is there a sign that people can get that they could put up their driveway saying that this is for the garage or for kick it to the curb?
Go ahead, Carol.
We haven't actually designed this sign. We could do if
Oh,
people
okay.
wanted to pick one up, or perhaps we
No,
could put one on Facebook.
I'm sorry. I just thought Rochelle said something about a sign, so I thought maybe there was a sign there for people to put at their driveway.
No,
Sounds
no.
like a good idea, though.
That was just a question I had. If there was a sign or
Okay,
something, like
okay.
what's the process to
Yeah.
get your stuff to the curb? But it was very well explained. Thank you for that.
Got it, Carol?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, great. All right, if there isn't any other questions on the report's here on our agenda. If any of the public is looking for anything on there. And if they have any questions, just contact the Chetwynd office. And we will get back to them about our administration report. Okay. Discussion items. District of Chetwynd, we got a letter for the Senior Citizens Housing Society.
Do I
Laura,
have to leave? Do I have to leave this? Because I'm actually the one that wrote that letter. I mean, it's
Carol?
for them, not for me.
Yeah, I don't think you do because you're not a director and it's not going
Yeah.
to result in any
Perfect.
financial
Thank
okay,
you.
implications.
Then I'll go ahead and make the recommendation that council authorize a letter to be sent to the Chetwynd Seniors Citizens Housing Society, Sorrera's Place, in support of its application to the BC Hydro Go Fund for a grant to purchase a senior gaming system.
I would second that motion.
okay, good second discussion.
Just a question,
Yes,
what kind of seniors gaming system,
Yeah.
Laura?
good question.
It's actually a pretty cool system, Janet. It's a projected that projects onto their table. It can project onto their table and and they can play games against each other, or they can project it onto the floor or onto the wall. So they can move around or they can sit in their wheelchairs and still play the games. So
Oh,
it's supposed
that
to help with
sounds-
their mentality and, and because right now it's pretty tough on them because they can't do a lot.
Yeah.
And they're restricted to how many people can visit. And
For
so I'm
sure.
hoping that it just really helps them get together, right?
Well, thank you so much. That sounds wonderful.
Yeah, it's I'm hoping it's going to be good for them.
Excellent. Any more discussion? Okay, in favor? Carried. Okay. Letter from Chetwynd Secondary School 2021 graduation class dated April 30th, 2021. Permission to hang banners with grad students' photos from light posts.
Make that recommendation that council authorize installation of grad photos on light poles. Second.
Okay, discussion. What, Janet, then Rochelle.
Do we have the capabilities to do that? I mean, I think it's a great idea. I love it. It looks great in Dawson Creek and I sure hope we can do it. Are we able to?
Go ahead, staff.
So the Chetwynd Secondary School grad committee is purchasing the hardware and they've been in contact with our Parks Department. So they're going to get the same hardware that Dawson Creek has. In fact, I think they mentioned in the letter that they're hoping for economies of scale, they're going to go in on the same order. And so if it doesn't work out for our light posts, then they have a plan B, and that's to place the large signs in the boulevard again like they did last year. But we think it'll work out.
Excellent. And that will just, will the Public Works Department hang them?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Or
Councillor Galbraith, is that, are you, oh, excuse me, were you done, Carol?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Were you done? I might have
Yes,
cut.
I was.
Oh, okay, thank you. Councillor Galbraith, you had one question?
I did. That was my question is like who was supplying the hardware, and do we have any idea roughly what it's going to cost our public works to hang 22 to 24
Banners?
Banners? Well, our crews will do it, our district crews will hang it, but all of the costs will be coming from the grad committee.
And one question, is that sufficient, Councillor Galbraith?
Well,
Or
I'm
did
just
you-
curious if we know what it's costing our public works people to put to attach everything. Like I can't see them doing it for free, but
In terms of labor, do you mean? Like how long it will be?
yes.
Yeah, we don't quite know yet, but according to Dawson Creek, it was not that onerous of a job, so we don't think it'll be that long. They've attached other banners to light poles, for instance, the annual Legion Memorial banners, and it doesn't take very long.
Okay.
My question would be, how high would they be? Because we don't want anybody reaching up with any kind of stick or pole to try to vandalize any of those banners.
Yeah. At this time, I don't exactly know the size of the banner, so I don't know how high they'll be off the ground, but the ones that were actually on the boulevard in the format of signs were not vandalized, so I think, they have to probably be pretty safe.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Disher.
I was just curious how long we would leave them up for.
I think the last time we had the signs out, they were left there for a couple of weeks, if I remember correctly.
I just love when I go to Dawson and see the kids' faces and read their names. I miss a couple of them because you're driving, and then you slow down and then you check it out and you catch the rest of them. It's a totally great idea. I was so impressed with that. I'm glad they're bringing it up, because we haven't had a grad for the public. They do their own grad with this COVID, but even post-COVID, I think we should keep something like this alive, because it's quite impressive. Councillor Galbraith.
Sorry, just one more comment. Maybe this will work into something different. Maybe they'll leave their little hardware there, and we can come up with some ideas. Maybe we can hang our pictures of our carvings or something like that off of them, and then take them down and switch them out for grad. And regardless of COVID or not, and they're still graduating, it's nice to see their pictures.
Yeah, for sure. Any more discussion? Okay. Vote. All those in favor? Carried. Whoever brought that up, very good. Okay, correspondence. Email from the Peace River Regional District dated April 20th, 21, lack of funding in basis plant management.
Do you want me just to make a motion to
Yeah,
receive
will it?
C1 to C4?
With the exception, I'm sorry, with the exception of C2.
Okay, I'll make a motion to receive C1, C3, and C4.
Okay, we need a second. Councillor Disher seconds. Any discussion on removing or moving C1, C3, and C4? All those in favor? Carried. Okay. C2, letter from the Union of BC Municipalities dated April 15, 2021. Provincial response to 2020 resolution. Councillor Galbraith.
Yes, I would just like to turn this over to Councillor Wark. I believe she had some comments.
Okay, Councillor Wark.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor, would you like me to read it out?
Please.
Okay, so just underneath, following the letter, 2020 EB 74 ambulance services. Whereas ongoing labor shortages are prevalent in most small rural communities in ambulance halls throughout British Columbia, leading to increased response times and reducing patients' access to possibly life-saving treatment. And whereas BC Emergency Health Service ambulance service is a vital component of life safety and access to healthcare for those who live and work in small rural communities, which are often a significant distance from fully equipped hospitals. Therefore, be it resolved that UBCM ask the province to provide more resources along with a commitment to finding a long-term solution to staff shortages for small rural community ambulance services. And this was endorsed by the UBCM and the provincial response, Ministry of Health. On April 20th, 2020, the province announced 55 additional ground ambulances with 5 additional aircraft to help support the response to COVID-19. A surge plan was co-developed with regional health authorities and the First Nations Health Authority, and the resources were staged, ready to be deployed as and when needed. By November 15th, 2020, all resources have been staffed and positioned in 35 communities across the province in order to well prepare the system for surges of COVID-19. With respect to Northern Health, an additional 6 ambulances have been deployed, including 1 ambulance in Dawson Creek, 2 in Prince George, 1 in Smithers, and 2 in Terrace. The units are focused primarily on inter-facility transfers, but can be deployed as 911 response units where required. Increased focus on interfacility transfers allows for much needed capacity on the 911 side. This interim strategy is flexible and allows these resources to be deployed where the needs exist. BCEHS has created a major incident rapid response team of specialized paramedics that can be and has been deployed to provide support to local paramedics and regional health authorities, if requested, in communities experiencing significant surges in COVID-19 cases. So we are more than thrilled that this has been endorsed.
Yes, and I applaud the ones writing this and getting it pushed forward. Thank you very much for that. It's quite a thing for us to have our somebody responding to us anyway in the north and taking us serious about our safety. Thank you for
Very
that,
much so.
Janet, and thank you for that, Councillor Galbraith.
You're welcome.
Okay, very good stuff.
You want me to make a motion to receive C2 then?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay,
For sure.
I'll motion to receive C2.
I would second that.
Okay. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Information items. I-1 to I-21. Is there anything that we need to pull out, councillors?
I'll make a motion to accept information items 1 through 21.
Second.
Second by Councillor Galbraith. Any discussion on pulling? All those in favor? Carried. Reports for action. Let's go RA1.
I can make that recommendation that council receive the age-friendly action plan as included with this report as attachment A and approve implementation of the recommendations in the future where feasible.
I would
I'll second
second that.
Councillor Deck, seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor? Carried. RA2, utility discount.
I would make that motion that the 5% discount on utility bills or on utilities be extended to the end of December 2021.
I would
I'll
second that.
second.
Counselor Ward, seconds. Any discussion? Go ahead, Counselor Disher.
Sorry, Carol, but is that a typo where it says there under financial considerations, it does have any financial impacts on the district?
Yes, that's a typo. It should have said it does not.
Thank you.
Kevin, did you want to add to that?
Thanks.
No,
Jocelyn.
it should be does not.
So to clarify, financial considerations brought forward by Counselor Disher, the typo is it does have, it should read does not. Is that correct, Kevin?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we've got December 21st, Counselor Galbraith. Or that 5% discount on utilities be extended to the end of
December 31st.
December
2021.
31st, 2021. Okay, any discussion on that? Not hearing any. All those in favor? Carried. RA3.
I'll make that recommendation that council endorse the following motion, whereas the federal government has adopted the motion to adopt 988, a national 3-digit suicide and crisis hotline. And whereas the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and opioid crisis have increased the demand for suicide prevention services by an estimated 200%. And whereas existing suicide prevention hotlines require the user to remember a 10-digit number and go through the directories or be placed on hold. And whereas the District of Chetwynd recognizes that it is a significant and important initiative to ensure critical barriers are removed to those in crisis and seeking help. And now therefore be it resolved that the District of Chetwynd Council endorse the 988 crisis line initiative.
I would second that.
Any discussion? This is quite a letter, and I see most major cities in British Columbia are adopting or writing this kind of letter. So I'm very pleased that we get an opportunity, as I mentioned prior in our previous meetings, that this was coming forward, and I'd like to thank council and all those in favor. Carried. Thank you very much. RA for Local Government Development Approval Program Grant. Okay, are we on that?
Yeah, we are. And I would make that motion that the UBCM Development Approvals Program Grant reads as below, whereas the District of Chetwynd has a desire to update and strengthen the operational steps and decision-making in relation to the planning and land development application process. Be it noted that the District of Chetwynd has applied for the UBCM Local Government Development Approvals Grant. That entire piece, and I don't know that I have to read it all. I can read it.
That's sufficient, correct, Carol?
And
Yes, that's right.
therefore be it resolved that the Council of the District of Chetwynd support the implementation of establishment best practices to improve the land development approvals process while meeting local government planning and policy objectives, and a willingness to provide management of the grant.
Second.
I'll second that.
Okay, Councillor Weisgerber, any discussion? Okay, not, go ahead, Councillor Weisgerber.
Well, I guess I'm just a little confused. I read it, but it didn't quite make sense to me. Okay, never, is this a grant that we're applying for, or what is exactly is this, Carol? Like,
Staff? Go ahead, staff.
Yes, it's a new grant that UBCM has released. It's 100% funded. So it's meant to, we can use it for a variety of ways to streamline our development processes, including we can make some promotional materials that clarify the development processes for members of the public. And we can also have our development approvals bylaw reviewed and had a look at, because there have been some changes. For instance, since February 1st, we now have to get a site profile from all developers. So there's been some legislative changes that we need to look at and see if we can make more simple for the public. So this grant will help us to do that.
perfect, thank you.
Okay, any more discussion? All those in favor? Carried. Reports for information, bylaw enforcement activity, March 2021.
I'll make that motion to receive.
Second,
Councillor Dick, seconds, any discussion?
I just have a couple of quick
Yes,
questions.
go ahead, Dick, Councillor Dick.
Why would we, what do we pay Dawson Creek 62,000 for? And who is Russell Eggleston Creative Services? Just curious.
Go ahead, Kevin.
I'm sorry, are you on statement of financial information?
Oh,
Yes,
we're still on the bylaw enforcement one. They hadn't that yet. No,
I thought we did both of them right away because they're for information. Pardon me.
Okay, okay, Councillor Galbraith.
I think I'm on the right one. And I thank you providing this information. It's great to know that, yeah, that there's bylaws out there and people are doing something about it. So I appreciate that. Thank you for the information.
And this is all going out to the public. The public gets to look at these stuff, and it's very important that they know exactly what the bylaws are for. It's quite educational. Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Okay. We have a recommendation. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, statement of financial information.
Motion to receive.
Second.
Second that.
Second by Councillor Bazandowski. Discussion.
Yeah,
Councillor Beck.
sorry about that. For the city of Dawson Creek, we sent them payment for 62,000. Just curious what that's for. And then Russell Eggleston Creative Services. I'm just curious what that is.
Okay, the Dawson Creek one is a tax sharing arrangement around the pulp mill. We pay 40% of our tax revenue from the pulp mill, or former pulp mill, gets sent to Dawson Creek under the letters patent from the original incorporation.
Thank you.
And Russell Eggleston Creative Design was, they redid the sound system at the rec center this year.
That's right, yep.
Okay. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we just didn't get to hear it because we couldn't put up any anything in there for like music or hockey or anything. Go ahead, Councillor Wark.
Thank you. Just gotta find, Oak Creek Golf and Turf.
That was for some
191,000.
lawnmowers to replace the ones that were lost in the fire.
Thanks, Kevin.
Any more discussion? Okay, not hearing any. All those in favor? Carried. Okay, no new business. At this time, is there any public questions? Not hearing any. Look for adjournment.
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you, council. It was a very good meeting. And we'll still wear our masks, even though we've got our shots. So thank you for, it was a very good meeting. We got, I think there was a lot of information here. Okay, we will see you again. Go ahead, Councilor Galbraith. See you.
Oh, I was just gonna say, have a great week.
Yeah,
See you tomorrow morning.
yes.
Tomorrow morning.